What's up, you guys, and thank you for joining us. It is Duel Night here at Daytona for the Speed Racing Series presented by Middle Road Energy. Tonight, we set the remaining starting positions for the 4th annual Daytona 250, as well as see which Go-or-Go-homers will make it and which ones will be sent home. For each of those drivers, this is their last chance to qualify for the biggest race of the season, and for everyone else, it's their last big test to see how good their cars will be on race day. So why don't we get this thing started? Here comes the start of duel number 1. Centered on your screen is your pole sitter for the 250, Major Robinson. Even though these races don't pay out any points, it definitely doesn't mean that they're risk-free. As long as Robinson doesn't tear that 85 car up, he will be guaranteed to keep his pole position. But the Go-or-Go-homers in this race, Caleb Rose, Jeff Bolton, Angel Gutierrez, and Wayne Benning, they got a short 40 laps to fight like their lives depend on it to get into the main show. Here comes Robinson and Shade Eves to bring it to the line, and the first of the 2 duels is underway here at Daytona. Wow, back there you saw the 00 of Nick Breeding get under the yellow line. He keeps it in control, but Robinson will lead the first lap. But going into 1, Jesse Turner in that U.S. Air Force riding the 94. He wants to peek ahead, but no, not before Logan Cloud pushes him 3 wide in the car number 20. Look at this armada of Fords up here at the front of this pack. Robinson already shuffled back on the high side to 6th place. Cloud goes up to block Turner. Derek Hamill in the 99 for Starcom, he is in the middle. And check out that orange 71 of Eric Sadler, one of the rookie competitors. He is also making some noise early on. Sadler was one of the 3 fortunate drivers to time their way in on qualifying day, so Sadler can only fight to improve his starting spot. There's no real risk for him at that. As you see, Aiden Smith in the 89. Also looking to make a few noise right there. And there's Breeding, who we saw go under the yellow line. I don't quite know what that was about, but thankfully they all sorted it out safely. Breeding's up here into 3rd. Jacob Holtz in 4th in that 03 car for S3 Motorsports. Breeding taking a peek down low underneath Smith. It looks like he will handily take 2nd place from Aiden Smith. There's Beholtz, the only car for S3 Motorsports in this race. Just like Zane Davidson was the only S3 car in the shootout last week. Beholtz trying to get up into 3rd place. Here comes Breeding. He wants to make a peek for the lead underneath Cloud. The pair of Fords side by side going into 1. We'll go back here to where the Go-or-Go-homers are. And there they all are within vision on your screen. Angel Gutierrez, Caleb Rose, they are nose to tail. Trying to go by the 92, Louis Dubois. There's Jeff Bolton and Wayne Benning. Those guys got to hustle. Otherwise, they fall at risk of losing the draft. That is not what the 57 and the 6 can afford. Taking a look at the close call that Nick Breeding encountered coming out of turn 4 on lap 1. You see he's on the bottom 4 wide underneath Aiden Smith. He gets into the 89, which then pushes him beneath the yellow line, coming onto the straightaway. So I'm glad that didn't cause any calamity early on, as that would have made a lot of folks unhappy. Checking back in on these 2 as they have drifted even further behind from the pack. Bolton and Benning crossed the line right there. And wow, over 6 seconds behind the lead pack, as there's Caleb Rose in 21st, who is one of the cars that they are targeting to get a transfer spot into the 250. So Jeff Bolton trying to qualify for his first race since Richmond in Season 1. And then you have Wayne Benning. He's just trying to do what he can with the underfunded Harmon Benning Peterson team, but these guys ought to be running nose to tail to try and have a chance at catching the 78 again, but unfortunately the speed just is not there. Anyway, back up here, Breeding continues his strong run aboard that hard Arizona Ice Tea machine. But now here comes Zachary Fitzwater swinging it down to the inside of the 00. He wants to take the lead now in that Foster's Dodge. You can definitely bet Fitzy would love to go and get back-to-back wins here in the Daytona 250. 3 different seasons, 3 different winners. Him, Zachary DeLello, and Lane Sanders. But now Shade Eves, and check out Hergel Alonso on the bottom 3 wide in the 27. He is going to thwart the plans of Zachary Fitzwater leading a lap here. And it looks like the 27, if he can hold on here, he will get credit for leading a lap at Daytona, and Alonso will do it. Great run by the Filipino rookie in that Jollibee machine. But now he's going to fall victim to Cody Lamas and Major Robinson, who's going to be pushing him up high right there. Lamas, your reigning Rookie of the Year. And there's the aforementioned pole sitter of race day, Major Robinson, doing exactly what he needs to do. Just stay clean, not get damage on that race car, and that pole position will be his. Here's another rookie contender coming along, Matthew Hubert, hailing from the Pacific Northwest, taking over this car from Aaron Jordan on the pole position team. And Hubert also looking to compete double duty in the Phenom Series this season. Hubert will get his first credited lap led in the SRS. Now down the back straightaway, Zachary DeLello wants to mount a challenge on Derek Hamill for the race lead. And if you know your history of the series, you know them pole position Toyotas are always quick on these types of tracks. And there goes DeLello on by. The Aaron's Dream Machine is now P1 here at Daytona. DeLello, the grand winner of this very race in Season 2, in which he also won that dual race prior to him winning the 250 that season. But it is coming up on 2 full seasons since the North Carolina native has tasted official victory in the series. You know how badly he wants to put that drought to an end. Another lap led here by DeLello, but here comes a new player that's arrived onto the scene, Sean Ard, trying to get a taste of the lead now in the 31 Chevy for the Stormbreak team. And looks like he's going to do it with ease as you see DeLello get pushed up to the outside. But Sean Ard, he was your pole sitter for the Middle Road Energy Shootout, and he was able to back that up by finishing 4th in the race. And he's going to be determined to try and turn some more heads in this series and maybe gain some more notoriety. Oh, big trouble in the back! Crash in the back of the field! Fitzwater is in it! Derek Hamill is involved, Matthew Hubert. And there's the damage number 7 of Fitzy at the bottom of turn 3. I think Cody Lamas might have also gotten a piece. But that is going to result in the yellow flag flying here on lap 16. But there is the pace car catching the rest of the field. Sean Ard is scored as your leader. And that is going to be a good break for Benning and Bolton, who are way behind the field. They are now going to be able to catch up. Oh, man, just look at all the damage onto Hubert's car. Left side damage on the 99 of Hamill. And there is Fitzwater, who at the end of that mess was left sitting sideways at the apron of turn number 3. Well, there's the main mistake that these guys make. They all decide to go 4 wide all the way down the back straightaway. I mean, you can go 4 wide here, but of course it's a risky thing to do. But going into 3, there's Hubert and Lamas. They're going to lean on each other, and up they go into Hamill, into Fitzwater, and setting this incident up. But thankfully, it was just those 4 cars that were in it. Could have been much worse. A lot more drivers within the pack could have been caught up in it. That's all there was to it. We'll have to see if the 12, the 99, and the 7 will even be the same going forward. Thankfully for everybody else, this should put them all within the window to make it safely to the end on fuel. So you bet they're going to capitalize on it. You see these pit crews changing tires and adding fuel onto these race cars. And it looks like off of pit road, the order will still be the same. Sean Ard will keep P1, Breeding P2, followed by Sanford, Smith, and Delvecchio. Oh no, Wayne Benning with engine troubles on the 6 car. Oh, what a tragic sight this is to see. Wayne Benning and the Harmon Benning Peterson team in their last shot to race their way into the 250. It's all going to go up in smoke at the halfway point of Duel 1, and they are out of it right there. And engine troubles for Jacob Holtz in the 03. Man, that is bizarre. 2 engine failures on the same lap for both Benning and Beholtz. And it looks like Beholtz will also fail to finish this as well. Onto the front straightaway now. Sean Ard will have command of this next restart. Nick Breeding to his outside in the 00. He's had a fast car all night long. Jeff Bolton in the 57. He's back in the pack again. Maybe he might put up a better fight against Rose and Gutierrez to race his way in. Across the line they go. 20 laps down, 20 remain. Ard and Breeding still remain side by side. These guys are barely up to full speed. Midway down the back straightaway, getting up to about 180 now. But you see the 00 start to inch ahead of the 31, and he will clear Sean Ard as they go into 3. Don't know what that StarCom team has done during the offseason or before Speed Weeks, but they've given that 00 a great breath of fresh air, as he now has all the clean air in the lead. As he leads over Sanford, Ard, and Robinson 3 wide. Meanwhile, there's Breeding's teammate back here, Derek Hamill, who got wounded in that accident with Matthew Hubert, which here's Hubert back here in 21st. He'll just hope to survive the rest of this thing and just carry on to the finish. Same thing with Hamill. Oh, but you see Bolton right here. Not a good sign already. We're barely 2 laps under green, and he's already fallen this far behind. I got to tell you, people, Caleb Rose has really found his rhythm quickly here in this duel in that 78 car, driving up to 3rd place. A fantastic showing by the rookie out of Kentucky, as he's going to try and push Nick Breeding to the lead now. Great choice of hire by Furry Road Motorsports as Sabre Fox's jump shift to the 46 car for S3 Motorsports. Caleb Rose has filled that void, and he might potentially try and go for the lead here, using help from Shady's behind him. So never mind Caleb Rose just worrying about making the 250. He might even try and go for the dual win himself. Now Shady Eves has an opportunity to get to the inside of Breeding, but so does DeLello behind him. 2 Toyotas against a Ford. I'd say you could probably give the edge to the Toyotas as they're on the inside, the preferred groover on this track. But DeLello down on the inside, a former Daytona winner, both in the 250 and in the duels. Like I said, looking to end over almost a 2-season-long winless streak. And here we go. They actually have his teammate, Matthew Hubert, to work with now. It'll be just a little bit before they reach the rear bumper of that wounded number 12. Charles Sanford goes down low. Oh, but I think that's the wrong choice. DeLello is going to get away with Eves following him. Oh, man, Charles Sanford, he had the right idea, but just could not execute on it. And, man, just look at how far away the 15 and the 47 are. There goes Hubert. He's going to be pushed up high, and that's going to trap Breeding. Robinson and Cloud behind him. They'll be the unlucky ones out of this deal. Meanwhile, Bolton, Lamas, and Fitzwater have been working together now for the last few laps. They are only 6 seconds behind Gutierrez. And Bolton is going to try like all heck to catch up that 51 and get by him before this thing is over. 186 in the turns from Bolton, 182 by Gutierrez. And there's only about 8 laps to go. Bolton might have enough time if he can get cooperation from the 48 and the 7. Bolton and the Little Falls Motorsports team might not be out of it yet. You just got to keep on pushing, keep on trying. And they may catch on how Gutierrez in due time, but it'll depend on how quickly he can get around Hubert. That slowed him down greatly. 173 coming out of turn 2. And stuff like that is going to give Bolton more hope. It'll be between those 2 drivers for the final transfer spot into the 250. Will Bolton get there? The leaders aren't clear of lap cars yet. Derek Hamill is the next one that they're going to approach. And here comes Eric Sadler and Charles Sanford up to him, and Sadler's going to be the lucky one getting around him on the outside. Great move by the Rookie of the Year contender out of Virginia. Sadler's going to escape. Hergel Alonso also going to pull up high. He goes in second. And there's Hamill up on the outside. Zachary DeLello is going to be the unfortunate soul trapped up there behind him. There goes Shade Eves underneath Charles Sanford, 3 wide. Eves is going to clear a path for himself on the 47. Del Vecchio's behind him. Ard, Turner, Ellison, Cloud. And that's too bad for Zachary DeLello. He still has a little bit of time to charge back up the running order. He doesn't have much yet. We're on lap 35 now. Now he's going to get to the inside of Hamill. There's Caleb Rose, Louis Dubois back here as well. But how about this for Eric Sadler? He timed his way into the field yesterday. Same thing with Hergel Alonso. Imagine if one of those guys were to get out of here with this dual win. Eric Sadler still showing the way as we now have 5 laps left in this first dual race. And here comes his teammate, Shade Eves, to help him along in the 47. How about both teammates for New Shade Industries, 1 and 2 on the racetrack? Man, both their teams have got to be just feeling elated right now. But there's still many miles to go. This isn't over yet. If they could go 1-2 in this race, that'd be phenomenal. But no, Shade Eves, he wants to get after that checkered flag himself. Del Vecchio behind him goes with the 47. And that's unfortunately probably going to put Sadler out of the spotlight in the lead. But still, he has a shot to secure a great finish and a good starting spot into 250. What can Del Vecchio do on the inside? 4 to go now. She has Aiden Smith behind her, trying to help her out in that 66 car. Again, Del Vecchio, Sadler, and Caleb Rose. Looks like they are all safe to debut in the 250. Rose is tagging out of the back of Louis Dubois right there. And I think Rose might be safe to get the 1 transfer spot. Behind Del Vecchio, Aiden Smith. He's going to get his nose underneath the 66. Smith going to try and charge for the lead now in that 89 car with Robinson in tow. This is shaping up to be a good one, ladies and gentlemen. 3 laps remaining. It's Smith's turn to be kicked up to the middle. Major Robinson, the pole sitter for this race. He now wants to have a shot at P1. And there's Nick Breeding behind him, who had a strong car early on in the 00. He's doing what he can to push the 85 through. But we also got another race to pay attention to. How about Jeff Bolton and the progress he's made? He can see the 57 right there. He's only just a few seconds behind Gutierrez on the racetrack. 2 seconds with 3 laps to go. He is right within vision in the camera shot. Gutierrez has got to be starting to worry now. That 51 just doesn't have the pace by himself that the 57 has, with Fitzwater and Lamas following him. Does Bolton have enough time to catch the 51 and pass him for a transfer spot? But in the meantime, 2 laps to go. Robinson, Breeding, and Smith, 1, 2, 3. Robinson doing his best to stay in the lead and to stay in control of this pack. Oh, but hang on, we might approach the 12 car of Hubert before this thing is over. And that might be happening fast. Robinson has a choice to make, but Nick Breeding's going to choose first. Here he comes down to the inside. Oh, and he gets into Hubert. Around goes Breeding, up and into the wall in 3. And that's going to cause the caution to come out. Who's going to get back around to win this race? It looks like Aiden Smith. Here comes Aiden Smith to the white and the yellow flags. And Smith takes the caution flag with the race lead. And that might have just given him the win in Duel 1. How about the go-or-go-home situation? Caleb Rose, he's raced his way in. There's Nick Breeding and Matthew Hubert. How about Angel Gutierrez? Jeff Bolton trying as hard as he can to pull up to him. But I think he's going to run out of time. And it looks like it'll be the 51 that's going to make it in. Gutierrez crosses the line ahead of Bolton to claim the final transfer spot. Oh my goodness. Angel Gutierrez, for his self-owned team, is going to get the job done to the agony of Jeff Bolton in that 57. He knew if he had just one more green flag lap, he probably would have gotten around Gutierrez, and it would have been the 51 going to the house. What a tough break for Bolton, but still, at the same time for Gutierrez, he's got to be screaming with joy underneath that helmet. But anyway, Aiden Smith, he was able to escape the calamity by Nick Breeding. There is the 0-0, making a pass for the lead, going into 3 with 2 laps to go. But unfortunately, he just mistimed it. He got into Matthew Hubert as Hubert pulls onto the apron. It's not going to be Nick Breeding getting it done tonight. Instead, it's going to be the driver of car number 89. As the checkered flag waves upon him, Aiden Smith will grab the win tonight in the first Daytona Duel. And that will secure the 3rd starting position in the Daytona 250 for the Virginia native. Aiden Smith gets to do what his teammate Mac Johnson did in the Middle Road Energy Shootout, and he now has a Speed Weeks checkered flag. So that's 2 for 2 for the Novasport team this Speed Weeks. Zachary Dolello, for the 2nd straight year, will finish 2nd in his duel. Major Robinson will bring that 85 home clean with a 3rd place finish, but he will start P1. That's not going to change. Sean Ard, he finishes 4th in the shootout. He will also finish 4th in this duel. And nabbing a top 5 is Hergel Alonso in the 27 for Ryzen Racing. Attaboy to him. But anyway, let's go over a replay of how this race came to an end with that crash involving Breeding and Hubert. As they make their way onto the back straightaway, just 1.5 laps to go. You see Breeding following the 85. He then tries to make a pass for the lead, but down into 3 is where it's all going to go wrong as you see Breeding slam into the 12. He came up on him like a bullet going into the corner. And that is the end result for both Breeding and Hubert. A disastrous situation for the 2 of them. As the 89 of Smith was able to get by first on the inside, and he sailed away to victory. But a tough break for Breeding. Hopefully he'll get enough redemption in the main race and make up for it right there. And in the meantime, you see Angel Gutierrez. That caution right there ended up saving the 51 from falling into the clutches of Bolton, who was coming with a full head of steam. And I guarantee you, if this race would have finished under green, Bolton may have had a better shot at him. And just look at how much he got to him as they came to the white flag. What a tragic outcome for Bolton and Little Falls Motorsports. His teammate Edward Ziemba will be in the race, but Bolton is going to have to wait until round number 2 at Phoenix to try and make his next race. But as for the 51 team, they are in the field. Renegade Gutierrez Racing will make their official team debut in the Daytona 250. And you can bet Angel Gutierrez is going to drive like a madman and make sure he gets the best finish possible for their team's first ever race. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, here are your full race results for this first duel at Daytona. Again, Smith, DeLello, Robinson, Ard, and Alonso are your top 5. Logan Cloud gets 6th, Eric Sadler 7th, Angela Del Vecchio 8th, Shade Eves 9th, and rounding out the top 10 is James Ellison. And you can go through the rest of the results down below. But Caleb Rose and Angel Gutierrez are the 2 open cars to race their way into the field. Jeff Bolton and Wayne Benning will not make it this season, as every one of these finishers will have an inside row starting spot for the Daytona 250. With that being said, there's nothing really else to say. How about we head over to the start of Duel 2? Here comes your starting lineup. Well, guys, second verse, same as the first. We get to do it all over again for 40 more laps in this second duel right here. All sorts of different players in this one. The Go-Go-Homers, Benedict Murdo, Roberto Crown Jr., and Alexander Rowe. And you can bet they're going to do their best to make sure the one car that's eliminated is not them. But you got a pair of rookies on the front row. Winston Wilson, Griffin Label, and McDermott. They all speed up to the line, and duel number 2 is green. Leading this lap here for the second duel, it's going to be Christian Vargas, the New Jersey driver, in that Geico ride. He gets to lead the first lap in car 81. Taking it over from Winston Wilson, Vargas got one heck of a jump on that start. He capitalized it to the best of his ability. Vargas leads his fellow Ford driver of Wilson in second, but he now changes his mind, ducks to the inside of the 81. Wilson locked in for his series debut in the 250 on the outside pole. And as long as he can do what Robinson did in Duel 1 and just keep that 80 car scratch-free, he should be all right to keep his P2 start. There goes Wilson. He goes up to block Vargas, but that might not be a good idea, as here comes RJ Bishop to try and steal the lead away from the 80. Bishop, your reigning series champion, switching numbers this season to the 98 instead of the 38. But that don't matter him. Bishop going to carry his old family number from his days racing in Arizona growing up. And he'll try and repeat that same sort of success with the Rambler organization. Bishop, Wilson, still side by side. Lucas Gaetano back to his Martin Lamas Motorsports team in the 18 car. We definitely wish Noah Hart the best, as he chose to vacate this ride prior to this season. But now Gaetano stepped in, and he'll try and get a lap led in that Fast Pro Shops car. But the Reese's ride of Bishop leads lap 3. Gaetano gets pushed ahead. Here's rookie Daniel Voiles in the 24. For S3 Motorsports, his teammate Saber Fox, who was also new to the S3 Motorsports camp, she is now up here in the podium position. She may actually have a nose underneath Voiles, but no, Voiles is going to close the door on her right there, going to 3. And the Oklahoma native of Voiles, the Kansas driver of Fox, two drivers from the Midwest, wheeling those S3 cars to the front two positions, as they will now have command of this field. You see that 84 car right there? The driver of this hasn't been in a race since season 2 of this series, and here he goes making a pass for second on Saber Fox. Alexander Rowe in the startup Volunteer Motorsports team, one of the open cars in this race, has shot himself up to P2 in the order. How about that? In that Callaway-sponsored ride, team owned by Austin Rogers, he's got two cars trying to qualify for the 250. You see that red 04 car back there of Roberto Crown Jr., and you also see Benedict Murdo. That 44 is the car that the 04 and the 84 are trying to beat and guarantee both volunteer cars in the field. But still, for Alexander Rowe, his comeback to this series so far is a real one. But here's Cody Goforth in his new ride for Stormbreak Motorsports, shooting up to second place now. Getting help from RJ Bishop, as Goforth trying to jump ship and get some rejuvenation for his career and turn things around for season 4, as that is going to be his ambition. Goforth crosses the line right there, but Bishop wants to take the second position back, maybe have a threat for the lead on Daniel Voiles. Speaking of that, here's his teammate Zayden Davidson, maybe going to try and get some reinforcement for the S3 team at the front of the field. And there is your winner of the Middle Road Energy Shootout, Mac Johnson, who coincidentally defeated Zayden Davidson for that win. But Johnson in the 88, him along with Wilson in the 80, they're the two Nova Sport cars in this race. Maybe one of them can maybe get a dual win, just like Aiden Smith did in the first race. Looking at the 75 of Edward Ziemba right here, who's running in the last right now, 17 seconds off the lead pack. We saw his teammate Jeff Bolton encounter the heartbreak of not qualifying for the 250 in Duel 1. Thankfully, Ziemba got at some owner points in the offseason, so Ziemba's safe to race on race day. And unless a caution comes out, Ziemba's probably just going to ride around back here until something happens. But still, after several laps, nobody's been able to wrestle the lead away from that 24 of Daniel Voiles. Well, up until just now, as Christian Vargas makes an attempt to pass him on the inside. But Daniel Voiles, one of the aspiring young rookie stars in this series. Him, Griffin Leopold McDermott, Matthew Hubert, Caleb Rose, Alexander Rowe, Benedict Murdo, Herjel Alonso, drivers like that, Louis Dubois even, as Voiles is among the vast list of rookie drivers for this season, so it'll be his quest to go for the honors this season. Here's DJ Curtis racing up the second. Haven't really talked about him much tonight. him, just like Christian Vargas, still has a goose egg in the wins column. You know, Curtis and Vargas, one and the same. They want to check out that box and get a W. All the way back here in 20th place is where you find Roberto Crown Jr., who has lost the lead draft in that car, running over 3 seconds back from 19th place Luke Martin. So Crown running in the danger zone right now. However, it's even worse for the 44 Benedict Murdo, who's over 9 seconds behind the lead pack. So Murdo running in an even more dangerous territory, because he would be the one go or go homer as it stands right now to not make the 250. So Murdo, Edward Ziemba, and Roberto Crown Jr. all hoping for a caution to come out real quick so that they can get back into the mix of things. How about Crown's teammate, Alexander Rowe in the 84? Where's he? Oh, there he is, racing for second place against Cody Goforth, and he's going to clear the 3 car for that position out of 2. Check out the job by Alexander Rowe, the part-timer for Volunteer Motorsports, having a phenomenal duel as he's going to slide into second place. Oh, huge crash in turn number 3. Luke Martin hard into the wall and nearly goes upside down. Kyle Rigger also involved in the 2 car. Oh, as they pull up onto the racetrack, Roberto Crown Jr. gets away. But we got a caution flag that is going to fly here on lap 16 in this duel. The very same lap that the first caution flew in the first duel, ironically enough. But Christian Vargas will assume the lead. Oh, look at the damage to that Doritos Dodge of Kyle Rigger. And there's Luke Martin, who was fully on his side. Didn't go all the way on his head, although he came very, very close to doing that. So here we see Luke Martin minding his own business, going down the back straightaway. He's on the inside line, and as they go into 3, it looks like the 2 car's going to get into the 54 right there. And wow, what a shot into the outside wall that was for both cars. Fortunately, nobody else got swept up in it, but still this incident will give plenty of damage to both the 54 and the 2. Here's an even more dramatic angle of it, but Rigger just comes down the track, gets into Martin. Just watch that car get whiplashed around as he makes contact with the wall. So the inaugural series champion finally knows what it's like to catch some airtime in the Speed Racing Series. And it's an absolute miracle that he's even able to drive that thing away. Although who knows how long he's even going to be able to last like this. We got you guys the onboard camera from the 54 of Luke Martin. Check out this sideways ride. Now that everybody else gets to pit here on lap 18, there will be no more fuel concerns from here on out. These guys can get fresh tires and a full load of fuel in their cars, and they'll be all ready to go. Who's going to win the battle off pit road this time? Looks like it's going to be your pole sitter, Winston Wilson. Excellent job by the 80 team for Nova Sport, as it's going to be Wilson, Vargas, Rowe, Davidson, and Lepo McDermott, the top 5. Miraculously enough, Luke Martin is going to continue on in this race, although the 2 of Kyle Rigger will not. He's in the garage. But a diligent job by the 54 team to get him back on the track. Meanwhile, Murdo and Crown are back in the lead pack. We'll see how much of a fight they can put up against the 84 car of Rowe for a transfer spot. But here's your pole sitter, Winston Wilson. He started out the race like this. He's going to take this lap 21 restart the same way as we are underway once again. Wilson in the 80 retains the lead midway down the back straightaway. We saw the 84 of Rowe maybe duck to the inside line. He thought he had a chance to maybe get underneath Wilson, but just didn't have enough head of a steam to pull it off. But he's going to follow Vargas and Wilson out of turn number 4. Now that 81 Geico ride, he's riding in behind Wilson. Now Vargas peeks out to the inside to try and reclaim the lead. And check out who's behind him. His other 2 teammates, Griffin Lepo McDermott and Lane Sanders, all three of the remaining Spa cars in this second duel, but now Sanders will go 3 wide underneath Lapo McDermott, which is going to kick the 84 way up high in the third lane. And Alexander Rowe is sarcastically saying thank you very much underneath the helmet to Sanders. But here comes your inaugural Daytona winner to the lead. He's got 2 other Ford drivers helping him out, Austin Rogers and Matt Johnson. Johnson gets pushed up high. Now Rogers, it's his turn to follow Lane Sanders out of 4. Roberto Crown Jr. starting to fall away from the pack in that 04 car. He better figure out something fast. Otherwise, it might be him heading to the house after this race tonight. It's dangerous to be running by yourself while the pack slowly pulls away ahead of you. Down the straightaway, Crown reaching 191. His teammate Alexander Rowe reaching 194. And if it keeps going this way, it's just not going to cut it. Crown desperately hoping that somebody in the pack messes up and causes a caution, and it lets him get back in the mix. But unless that happens, his chances of making the 250 are just going to continue to fade. Meanwhile, back up at the front, we got a change for the lead. Lucas Catano has taken it over now from Lane Sanders, and now he shows the way in car number 18. Carrying his classic sponsor and colors with this team from seasons 1 and 2. It's a fitting return home for Catano, and you can bet he's going to want to grab as many wins as possible. Hang on, what's wrong with the 80 car? Look out, Winston Wilson. Back up in front of these guys. And I don't know how that wasn't a big melee in turns 1 and 2, but something caused Wilson to get out of shape, dive onto the apron, and back up in front of 5 cars. And I am very, very glad they had the smarts to be aware of where the 80 car was and let off the gas. But Lapo McDermott, Rogers, Rowe, Vargas, and Murdo are not going to be happy at all with that. Well, thankfully for Wilson and those other 6 drivers, looks like they've all redeemed themselves because they are back up to the tail end of the pack. And they are still going to fight for this win. As there's the 80 creeping up onto the back end of Catano. There's Vargas, Lapo McDermott, Rogers, Rowe, and Murdo. As long as the 44 and the 84 can stay together, they will have the 2 open spots secure as they will make the 250. Still a long way to sort this out, though, as at the lead now is Cody Goforth in car number 3. 2 Chevys on the bottom, a Dodge on the top. As Goforth's lead isn't going to last long, Daniel Voiles now back to the point, along with Sanders and Catano, who traded the lead earlier on. Still lots of great stories within this pack. 19 cars within your frame shot to have an equal chance of victory. Sanders down on the inside of Voiles. And how about the 75 of Edward Ziemba? We saw him lagging way behind the pack before the caution came out, and now he's up here in the top 10, giving this Little Falls team a very strong run. Real good job by Ziemba and crew. At least they will be the one car from that team that'll get to race on Sunday. But there goes Wilson in the 80 down to the inside of Sanders. Hopefully nothing will cause his car to get loose and go onto the apron. Thankfully it won't happen that time, as he will now show the way over the 3 Spa cars as we have now made it to 10 laps to go. Out of turn 4, here's the battered car of Luke Martin, who I'm afraid isn't going to be able to stay on the lead lap for much longer. Here comes the pack to swallow him alive, starting with Lucas Catano. He's going to duck to the inside of his boss. Catano will clear. Martin up on the top side. Whoa! He cuts off Alexander Rowe right there. Thankful to not cause an incident, but Martin now stuck on the top side, blocking Curtis, Johnson, Freeze, and Wilson, I believe. Up ahead of him, Catano gets ahead. Davidson second. Roush, Edward Ziemba in 4th, and Alexander Rowe 5th. Right now the top goer go homer. Murdo also up in this pack too in the 44. Oh man, that 19, the 88, and the 21 still getting the raw end of this deal. That's unfortunate for those guys. And it looks like Johnson and Freeze are the 2 drivers that were impacted the most when they approached Luke Martin's damaged race car. Johnson lagging way behind the tail end of the pack. Freeze is in a worse position. He might fall off of it entirely. And that's a shame for Freeze. He's running out of time quickly to make up positions. But anyway, we have just a handful of laps to go. Just 4 more times around Daytona. Scott Roush still keeps the lead. Boyles up to second. Sanders on the bottom, going for third over Rowe. That 86, the 24 have been fast. We haven't really seen Roush handle the lead as long compared to those other drivers have. Here goes Sanders. You want to know, he wants to use that Domino's power to get back up to first. And Boyles, he doesn't really have anybody to help him out. His teammate Saber Fox is stuck way within the pack. And there goes Sanders. He has his teammate Vargas to help him out if he needs help. But Sanders isn't doing anything. He's staying onto the rear bumper of Roush, and that might be his downfall. Vargas now finds room underneath to go for second. 3 laps to go. Roush, your winner of the Middle Road Energy Shootout last season. That's his only super speedway win, and he's looking well in position to maybe get another checkered flag here at Daytona. But now Vargas has his chance. Here comes the 81 down to the inside of the back straightaway. He doesn't really have anybody close enough to give him that push, and Roush is going to shut the door on him by the time they go into 3. Oh man, Vargas, you know, he could sniff that lead so badly, but he never quite had anyone behind him to give him the help that he needed. Roush, 2 more times around, just 5 miles left. Will he keep the 81 at bay? Winston Wilson up on the top side. Can he maybe get a win from the pole in this duel? Here comes Griffin Lepo McDermott in the 90 in his first unofficial start in an SRS car. It is now him helping out his spot teammate, but Lepo McDermott tries to go on the inside of Vargas. But I think he might be losing too much speed. Vargas tight onto the rear bumper of Roush. Oh, and check out behind him. Kitano dives to the inside of Lepo McDermott in the 90. Austin Rogers pushing him in the 43 car. For the go or go home situation, it looks like Rowe and Murdo may have the transfer spots in the bag. But what about the race for the win? White flag waves at Daytona. Will Roush be able to keep the lead at the checkers? Vargas being patient aboard that 81 car. He has not collected a checkered flag of any kind since the creation of the Speed Racing Series. That could all change tonight. Halfway down the back straightaway, Vargas waiting patiently for the right opportunity to strike. Oh, but it looks like he's waited too long. Kitano has room underneath the 81, and I think that may have closed the deal up for Vargas. Now Kitano will have one last chance to steal the lead away from Roush. Out of turn 4, will he do it? I don't think he can. Here comes Scott Roush towards the line, and it's going to be Roush who gets to pick up the win in duel number 2. An outstanding job indeed for the driver of the 50 car. Scott Roush takes home his second unofficial checkered flag here at Daytona International Speedway, and he gets to do it once again for Rambler Racing. But back within the pack, though, for the Go or Go homers, Alexander Rowe will get to qualify for his first race in Season 2. Alexander Rowe and Volunteer Motorsports are in the Daytona 250. And next to him, how about Benedict Murdo? From heartbreak last season to jubilation tonight, he will get to compete in his first ever Daytona 250 for his own Murdo race team. That's fantastic to see for the driver of the 44 Toyota. This will be a huge opportunity for him to show what he can do on the super speedway. And while the 44 and the 84 get to celebrate the 04 of Roberto Crown Jr., it's an opposite story for him. He will be the lone man out of this second duel, as he will unfortunately join Jeff Fulton and Wayne Benning heading home from Daytona in heartbreak. Just whatever that 04 team did to that car in pit stops did not work. The 04 just could not hang on to the draft. He was hoping for a yellow to come out, but it ultimately never came. And Crown, although he will still have the full season ahead of him, he'll have to wait until Phoenix to qualify for the next one. And as we have your Duel 2 results on the screen, Scott Roush again comes home the winner over Lucas Kitano. Christian Vargas falls to third after just losing out on that chance to win at the end. Fourth place for Cody Goforth, another top 5 effort in the duels for the Stormbreak team. And fifth place for Griffin Lapo McDermott. Austin Rogers with a strong run in 6th. Winston Wilson, your outside pole sitter, will get 7th. DJ Curtis 8th. RJ Bishop 9th. And Joseph Strigley completes the top 10. As the official 42-car field is set in stone, we will have your starting lineup coming on the screen for you momentarily of the 42 stars of the Speed Racing Series, getting to battle it out for 100 laps to bring home the 4th ever Daytona 250 crown. We highly encourage you to not miss it. Again, congratulations to the 2 duel winners tonight, Aiden Smith and Scott Rauch. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing all of you on race day.